It's that time of year again where I organize all my yarn. I think I really truly organize my yarn every 3 or 4 months. I think the last time I did it was maybe January after Christmas, because that's when I did the 24 days of granny squares, which I'm so excited to do it again this year coming up. That's still like 7 months away-ish. Anyways, as you can see, I put all the yarn in here. If you watch my Monday vlog, I was talking about that I want to organize yarn this week because I am working on a Tunisian crochet project with very, very, very thin yarn. And that's going to take a little bit of time to do. So I kind of want to give myself like 2-3 weeks to work on it. Hopefully just 2 weeks. Hopefully, I don't know. I had to take it apart so many times. Anywho, I digress. Yesterday, what I was doing is in my old filming room, which was like my original filming room. And then I realized I kind of like here better. So I've kind of made this my filming room. But then that room has just become the room where everything just goes. I was gonna say goes to die. No, just goes to. And then I forget about it because I close the door. Yesterday I did organize it, and you'll see more of me organizing in there in my Monday vlog because I filmed for that vlog. This one is just strictly yarn. I wanted to clean that out first, obviously, to sort out any bags of yarn that I have or whatever and get that sorted, but I also want it to be like cleaned in there, so then that way I can put all of my yarn totes on the floor and just throw all the yarn in the proper bins. One of my very first yarn cleaning videos that was in this camper, which was probably about 2 years ago now. I've had this camper for 2 years now. I started the bin system. And what the bin system is it's basically totes that I've designated for certain yarns or certain colors. I kind of have one that is for wool yarn, for cotton yarn. I have 2 for acrylic yarn because I have so much acrylic yarn. Well, acrylic for medium weight yarn. I have one that is warm tone, one that is cool tone. I'm just kind of like looking at what I have and just kind of like making a mental note, but also saying it out loud. So is it really mental if I'm talking out loud? The one tote that I do have, which is my DK yarn, my light 3 yarn, I kind of have it all mixed. And I was kind of thinking, do I want to separate it like I did for the medium, warm and cool tones? But I think I might just get another bin that is just strictly for bonus Hayfield DK yarn. I love that yarn, especially for tapestry projects. So I kind of want to have like my own bin for that yarn. Back to the bin system, what I like about that is even though I don't organize my yarn every day, when I do organize my yarn, it's easy to organize. I'm not going to be stressed out about it. I'm not, going to be like, where's this? Where do I put that? Everything has a home already. And if it doesn't, I get a new tote for it. Since my crocheting journey, I only started with some yarn, and then, your yarn just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you end up with a ton of yarn that you don't know what to do with. That way, when I'm organizing all my yarn, I know what bin to put it in and everything will be a lot smoother. I remember the last time I did one of these videos, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to take me so long to organize all this yarn. And it really didn't because I had the system. So having a system is great. It's just where I have this system right now, which is technically the bathroom in this area. Don't worry, it's all like cleaned and everything like that. And I don't use it as a bathroom. I actually took the door off. It's basically a yarn closet right now. If you don't know, my camper don't have running water. That's fine. I don't need it. I don't live in here. It is my filming studio and where I obviously keep all my yarn and where I sew and craft. But the way that I have it in the closet, it's not always convenient for me to take the totes out, put the stuff away, and put it back. So that's why it kind of just accumulates. Also, my sister, she uses the yarn and she takes the yarn in the house and then she brings the yarn back and she doesn't put the yarn away either. So it's not just me. So then I got to put her yarn away as well. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening in this video is I'm going to be organizing my yarn stash. If you're new to my channel and you like crocheting and knitting and yarn and a little bit of thrifting and the 80s and this vibe, why not hit the subscribe button? If you subscribe to my channel, then you'll be up to date with all of my latest videos and projects. It is the next day, so now it's time to actually sort out the yarn. Also, I did somewhat clean this room out. This will be more in my vlog. I have my blankets and some pillows and just stuff there. I used to sit on that, but I don't really sit on that anymore. Over here, I have some totes. Some shoes for some reason. I don't know. I also have to put labels because this is crochet items. This, I just kind of threw stuff in here. I should have organized it a bit better. And this is fabrics. I want to take the totes that I know I need, and I'm going to set them up in here on the floor, and that way I can just throw all my yarn in that. It'll be so much easier to organize. Time to organize my yarn. Now, I couldn't actually fit all the bins in here, so I think we're just gonna do the acrylic yarn first. I have in this one here is my DK weight acrylic. This is my cool tone acrylic in this bin. This bin here is my warm acrylic, warm tone acrylic. It's not yarn that is warm because that would be weird. Over here is like my browns, grays, beiges. And then I have a bin that's like tucked away in this corner, and that is my black and white acrylic yarn. I should also mention this one, this one, this one, and that one are all my 4 medium weight worsted yarn. This is my only DK one up here. I've also noticed that in my warm and cool tone buckets, I've been putting this yarn here. It is the Craft Smart value yarn. It goes by Soft Classics, I believe now, from Loops and Threads. And it's more of an Aran weight yarn than it is a worsted weight yarn. And my warm tones is filling up. So I think I might make them in their own bin again, which is fine. I do have their own bin. It's over there. I think what I'm going to do to make it a little more interesting is we'll have like a little trip down memory lane. When I pull out a yarn, I'll go over what project that yarn belonged to, and then maybe like show a photo of it. I think that's good. I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, why did I buy this? And I'm like, I did it. Brittany did. Okay, so that makes more sense now because I was like, I don't remember. So let's go over what's ever in this one. I think I got this one at an estate sale, so we can put that in there. Also, eventually, I think I want to make a purple category because this, I wouldn't say is warm tone, but I wouldn't say it's cool tone. So I would love to one day when I have, you know, more room, I guess, do one that is like pinks and purples. Because even though pinks technically go with the warm tones, I can make my warm tones just like my yellows, my reds, my oranges, stuff like that. So I'm thinking eventually I will get a bin to put all of the purple and pinks in. Not today. This here is the Granny Square Petite, which I love. I haven't used this one yet. This one I think I used for my lampshade, but that's like a variegated yarn. So I think this should go in the variegated yarn section. The Flower Power. I made that flower Granny Square scarf with this one. We got my Pound of Love. Oh no, this is actually a white. So that can go into the white bin. This was for the Fox cardigan. I bought too much of this yarn, but I love it. So this was for the Fox cardigan. I love that project. This still has the number on it from my 24 Days of Granny Squares. Certain yarns, I can remember the project, and other yarns I might have used like a little bit for a project, but like not enough to remember which project it was from. This one here, the Pound of Love green, and I made my Christmas cardigan with this one. Another Red Heart, which one's this? The Granny Square Petite. I did a whole Granny Square yarn review video by Yarnspirations, you know, how much I love the Granny Square yarn. They haven't come out with any new ones lately, so I don't know if they ever will. A star one would be pretty cool. But I think I rated this one my favorite. I think this was like my favorite one. Okay, we have some wool yarn in here. I actually bought these when, remember the sailor slippers were like really popular? I was trying to get back into knitting at the time, and I guess the sailor slippers were made out of the Drops Snow yarn. And I made the crochet version of them, and then I never got around to making the knit version of them, but I did buy all the yarn for it, and it was gonna be these two colors, this green and like this purple color. We're gonna be the stripes, and I was gonna do like this dark gray for the bottom, and then I never got around to it. Yarn that doesn't belong in any of the bins are gonna go in here, and then when I'm done sorting these bins out, I'm gonna put them away and get the other bins in here, and then we're gonna sort what's in here. I'm also at that point where I don't care. I'm cutting yarn. I think this bag has a lot of my winter yarn in it that I haven't put away since obviously December, so it has a lot of my 24 Days of Granny Squares. If you're unfamiliar with my 24 Days of Granny Squares, it's where I take a D&D dice or a D20 dice, and I roll whatever color it is the color that I need to use in that Granny Square. And so depending on how many colors the Granny Square has, I think I had the minimum of 2 and I went up to 10. I do it for 24 days in December, like an advent calendar. And this is what it turned out like last year. That was day 1, and it goes all the way down here So this is what I made. I absolutely love it. And a lot of y'all participated in this. And like, I love the colors that you guys picked. Everything just looks so good. I probably will be doing it again because I want to continue on to this blanket. So I want to do like another big section, but I don't know what I want to do yet. I've already done warm tones. So I don't know if I want to do more warm tones or if I want to do cool tones or if I want to do like variegated yarn and regular yarn. I have 6 months to figure it out, but I just love how this turned out. It's so pretty and I can't wait to like continue on it. The yarn advent calendars, you kind of have to order them now, but then you're just getting more yarn and like and of course, these advent calendars are beautiful and they have like beautiful yarns, but sometimes I'm like, what am I going to do with these yarns? Whereas I have all this yarn and I'd rather use it up for projects like that. Okay, everything else in here. Ooh, another green. Oh, this is a nice green. I like this green. I think when I was redoing my checkered bag, this one here, I think I was thinking of this green originally. I ended up going with a different green, which I think works with the bag so much, but only because I didn't see this one. If I would have seen this one, I think it might have been a harder decision to pick which green I wanted, but I am glad with the green that I did pick. I think it looks perfect on that bag, but I think I was originally thinking about like this one. Okay, so everything else in this bag is just like yarn scraps that I just think I'm never going to use. And why do I have this? A coaxial cable. Well, I think it's because I needed one at one point and I couldn't find one, and then I had to order one online. I'm like, well, if I ever need one again, this one's only $4. Let's keep it. This will just be like my miscellaneous bag of stuff. I'm just going to throw it over there. This one is actually going to be used with a different yarn that I have this one, these yarns. This is the Cascade 220, and I have not made anything with it yet, but I bought all the yarn so I can make something with it, and I actually really want to make this loon sweater. I know when it came out, a lot of people were like, did you see the loon sweater? Yes, I did see the loon sweater. I bought the yarn for the loon sweater, and then I started working on other things, and now thinking about making the loon sweater just doesn't make sense at this moment in time. I think it's going to be more of a August project, so that way I can wear it in September, because I would hate to make this in the summertime and not be able to wear it for like a few months and just look at it and be like, why are you taunting me? Also, there is like a little bit of color work in there because you have to like do the loons. So maybe I want to do a few more knitting projects maybe before I tackle this, just to like, you know, make sure I know what I'm doing so I don't mess up on that. So it's all in here. I bought all the yarn. I think I probably would have made this a few months ago, but the yarn that I wanted, this specific color here, it's like this brown heathered yarn. It's like a brown gray, but it looks so good. It looks like a grandpa sweater type of color, and that is what I wanted. Wasn't in stock at the moment. You know, with dye lots, I wasn't just gonna buy a few here, a few there, and then if it doesn't match up, I would be a little bummed out. So I just waited for it all to come in. It's all in now. I have it. I will even put the white in this bag here, and I'm just going to tie this bag up so I know that this yarn is for this, because I would hate it if I, for some reason, just completely forgot why I bought this yarn and started using it for something else, especially the white yarn in here. I could totally see myself doing that. And then when it's time to make this, be like, what did I do with that white one? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put yarn that I know that I want for a project in its own bag, but then put that, like those bags in a bag so they're all together. I think that might work. I have this, which is Hello Stella Fibers. This is my first time buying from her, but like, look how pretty this is. And I got this at the Fiber Forge back in March. I did have a plan to work on it during local yarn store day for like the drive, and then I just kind of didn't feel like it that day. I also still have to wind it up, but I was thinking that this would make such a cute little scarf, like the Sophie scarf. So this could be like a project that I do when I'm bored and I just want to like pick up knitting so I don't forget it. I'm afraid that I'll forget how to knit now. And then I also got this one here. It is the Concept Merino Baby Granny Square, and it is actually this bag right here. So this bag here is actually made out of the same brand of yarn, but this one here is like purples and pinks. And I kind of remember at the time when I was buying this, I was really contemplating of getting this color or this color, and I ended up going with this one because obviously it's you know, like look at these colors. They're so perfect. And this was the first time, and technically only time because I haven't done it since. Instead of buying fabric and buying handles, I just got an old PC Optimum bag that had these fall leaves on it, flipped it inside out. So this is technically the outside of the bag. And then I sewed it in because it already came with the handles. And it was the perfect size for this bag. So if you're someone who doesn't really like hand sewing a lining and the handles and everything like that, buy a tote bag first, measure that, and then make your bag around the measurements of the tote bag. And then you can just sew the tote bag inside your crochet bag. And then you don't got to worry about attaching handles, sewing fabric together. All you have to really do is maybe just do a little bit of hand sewing or throw it through the sewing machine. I've started doing that. This here makes 24 squares, and that is this. I don't think I want to make another bag with this because first off, I have so many tote bags and I love a good tote bag. I love making tote bags. Tote bags are like my favorite thing to make because they're kind of easy and I don't have to put sleeves on them. I mean, I could put sleeves on a tote bag and make them pockets. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? But I kind of like it. I'm kind of thinking about maybe making this a top. It's very lightweight, so it'd be kind of meshy, so I would wear a shirt underneath it. But I kind of want to make it with like maybe bell sleeves, not exaggerated bell sleeves, but like some cute bell sleeves on here, like nothing tapered, something like nice, loose and flowy. I think this would look beautiful. I'll show a photo of what this looks like when it's like in square form. Anyways, I bought this recently-ish and I want to use it for something. Let's go over this one. So this is what I'm talking about, the bonus DK yarn. This I bought for my Heated Rivalry tote bag, and I think all the other colors are in it as well. Like this one. Yeah, this was actually, I think, my project bag for Heated Rivalry. I love that bag. It's so cute. But this is the Hayfield Bonus DK. This is the, Hayfield Bonus DK Extra Value yarn. If you are looking for a good DK yarn that has a ton of colors and is a good price, I highly suggest the Hayfield Bonus DK. It is $6.99 for one of these, but you get 100 grams. You also get approximately 306 yards, which is about 280 meters. So you get a lot of yarn. And for my tapestry projects, I just feel like you can fit so much more detail in a project when you use a lighter weight yarn, because then you're not making this huge canvas. Now, if you're gonna be making like this huge canvas, then use like whatever yarn you want. The thicker yarn, probably the better, so it works up faster. But if you're someone like me who wants the little details in a project, I highly suggest doing tapestry projects in this Hayfield Bonus DK yarn. I've made, I think, one crochet item, which would be this sweater here. Meet me at the ice cream shop top by Just the Worsted. I'm actually working on a Tunisian pattern from her newest book right now, which I absolutely love. Where was I going with my sentence? I made it into a sweater, but I kind of want to make a t-shirt version of it because it's actually a t-shirt version and I made it into a sweater version by I just kept going on the sleeves. But I used this yarn for it and it is so nice and lightweight. So that's just my little rant about this yarn. I love this yarn. I think I might just leave the Hayfield DK in here because it's all in here anyway. So that's that. We're just this. Okay, you go in there then. Stop being annoying. Thank you. The bag it is in is my Hawkins AV Club bag. You can't really see club. It kind of got lost on the bottom there. Should have went up a little bit more. I didn't think about that. And then I have like the tower on the back, which does have the letters. I honestly should have used the Hayfield Bonus DK to make this because then I could have put more detail in it and I could have put more on the bottom because it kind of gets lost a little bit. So anyways, I have this yarn here. This I used for my like 80s inspired heart bag using the Sweethearts Granny Square yarn by Red Heart. And this is the color that I used for the border. The heart colors weren't my favorite. Doing the heart was okay. I just had to reconfigure the pattern because the pattern just didn't work for me. And if you watch that video, I did post in the video a photo of of a diagram that I use for the heart granny squares, which could be used for any yarn. I added this purple for like the handles and the border. It just turned out so much better with this purple. Okay, let's go through this one now. I also have that one over there. Okay, this is the heart one. I was literally talking about the purple one and then I'm like, let's go for a little bit of a break. So I took a little water break and then this is the next one that came out. This is actually the heart one. So as you can see, the purple just matches this perfectly. That can go in this bag because that has to go with like my variegated yarn. More purple. In here is more yarn that I actually bought for a project. So this one, I don't know, I've had this for a while. Back in the fall time, I had this vision. Okay, I envisioned this beautiful mohair red like knit cardigan. Okay, I visualize it with like the cute little red buttons. I want a cute red cardigan. I'll put a photo here, like a cardigan like this. And so I ended up buying a pattern, and the pattern was a like knit dupe crochet pattern. So you crocheted it, but it looked like it was knitted. And I bought all the yarn for it, which I had to buy a DK weight yarn in this red color, which I didn't really want for the project, but it was really the only red color that would work with the yarn that I wanted. I actually ended up making this really cute red scarf. So, I mean, it worked out. Like, I'm not mad about it. So, like, I ended up using one of it because I had wound it up and I started working on the project. And then I realized it was slip, stitch, back loop only with like a 4mm crochet hook. I think I might have done like a little bit, and I'm like, no, get this out of my face. This isn't happening. Is the pattern really cute? Absolutely. But I was not going to put myself through that. It wasn't going to happen. So then I just kind of sat on the yarn, and then I was thinking more and more about it and how I did not like the red yarn that I picked out. I wanted this yarn. I returned the yarn, and then I ended up buying this yarn instead. And at the time, I also bought some red mohair to go with it. The yarn I ended up picking was Estelle worsted. It doesn't say the color, but it's this very vibrant red, and I love Estelle worsted. Like, I know I talk a lot about Barocco vintage worsted yarn. I like Estelle yarn so much better. It's just ever so slightly thicker, so it works up better. I just love how it feels. And so I'm really happy that I did go and buy this. When I did buy this and I bought this, I also got a pattern. I believe it is another petite knit pattern because I had just finished a pattern from her, and I'm like, I want to do another one, but I haven't done anything with it. So at the time, I think I was working on my first knit sweater, and then after that I took a little break, and then I started working on my other knit sweater, and then I haven't gone back to knitting since. It's not that I don't want to knit, it's just there's so many good crochet summer projects out there. Ended up buying all the yarn for this cardigan. It's money that I could have saved. At the time, I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and then I proceeded not to do it. But I have all the yarn, and I want to put it in like another bag that I can like kind of tie up. So all the yarn is in here for when I want to make that cardigan. I'm just gonna put this here with the other bag of yarn that I'm going to make the loon sweater with. So like those are knit projects that I really want to do. So I think if I start knitting anything, I got to do those first before I do anything else. Unless something else really catches my eye. What is in this? Wow, it's falling apart. Yay. White yarn, black yarn. What is this? What is this? And I can't cut it because I don't know where it ends. I know this is hayfield yarn. This is actually from when I redid my Wednesday vest, when Wednesday 2 came out, the second Wednesday. I ended up steaming it really well, and then I didn't like it because I realized I don't really like, here's the thing, I love black and white checkered, but just not on a vest for me because I don't know how really to pair it with anything. So I ended up dyeing it with acrylic dye. It turned out okay. I kind of like it. I just forgot about it again. I think the problem is because it's so small that I fold it, sweaters go on top of it, and then I don't see it. I ended up dyeing it, and when I was dyeing it, that really loosened up the fibers, and then I had to take it apart a lot. I think anything left in here is just garbage at this point. Like, what am I going to use it? Oh, I have this collar. I took apart a sweater that I didn't like, and then I redid it, and I did a different collar on it. So this is the collar from it. I don't know where to put it. Maybe in there? Okay, this is like trash, so I'll throw that over there. This yarn here is from the quilt motif yarn. The quilt motif square, I was the most excited to try that square. So excited to try that square. And so many things disappointed me. It's hard to tell what the colors are going to look like when they're in a skein, okay? Like you can kind of see them and you're like, yeah, they can work. But then once you start using it, you're like, no, this isn't working. The colors online, on the packaging, and in person, 3 different colors. Then actually doing the squares, some squares would be perfect. And then other squares, I had to keep taking them back and then going and then having too much yarn. Taking them back, going, having not enough yarn. And it was just super super annoying. I made a quilt. The quilt's okay. I wish I would have picked different colors. It's just the colors look good at the time. They looked like what I wanted, but when I did them, it wasn't. Not the biggest fan of the quilt motif yarn. I do like the corner to corner crochet. Like that was super, super fun. So even though I didn't care for the project itself, it did teach me corner to corner, and I would love to try that again, but with my own yarn. I've also seen people do corner to corner projects and make like a mosaic tapestry type of project. Instead of it being like a detailed like intarsia or like regular tapestry, it's like big blocks, and I kind of want to do that. In here is also yarn that doesn't belong. I think I have one more bag to go through, and then I can put all of these totes away and get the rest of the totes that I need to sort the stuff that I have not been sorting out in. My coworker ended up giving me this. It is the Wool Ease Lions brand yarn. We'll put those in there. I think that's definitely a yarn my sister would use because it is like this navy blue color. All right, what else? What else? Loops and thread black yarn, green, also green, blue. I think this is from Brittany. This yarn is funny. In the blue bin, it looks gray, but in the gray bin, it looks blue. I think it looks more blue, so we'll put it with the blues and then green. And then we got another empty bag. Okay. That didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. I'll take a little break, put the totes away, and then when we come back, we'll be going through everything that is in these bags right here. Not as many totes as I thought I had to bring out. I thought I had to bring out way more totes. Also, the one tote that I did have a lot to put in, I just wasn't gonna take it out because it'd be too much, and I had to put totes on top of that tote. Now, this is the one that I was talking about that I have all of my Craft Smart value yarn in, also known as soft classics. I just feel like it's good to keep them separate because sometimes when I'm working on a project, I'm like, oh, this is a great yarn, like a great color, and then I'm like, it won't work with the other yarn that I have. So that's why I kind of like having everything separate. This is just so bulky. I don't know what to do with it. I need to do something with it. I have heard people do corner to corner blankets, but I would need more of it. Karen anniversary cake, and I think I got this one back in like 2024, and I've done nothing with it because I don't know what to do with it. Honestly, I see it, I'm like, ooh, I need to do a project with it, and then I forget it exists. We have my Loops and Threads Soft Classic / Craft Smart. So this is like that Aran weight yarn that is thicker than the worsted weight. In here I have my cotton yarns, and then over here is still the DK weight yarn that I want to sort and just take out any of the bonus DK and put it in its own bin. And then I have this one here, which is sparkly yarn, because I do have a sparkly yarn that I have to put away. Last year, I really thought I was going to get into yarn spinning. I bought like the little spindle and like I was excited. And then I did it one time and I'm like, eh. I would like to try it again, okay? Like I want to make a video about it. Last year, I ended up buying this during local yarn store day by the Little Red Mitten. It is Merino Stellina, and the color is called Once Upon a Time. It looks so much like a unicorn, and I would love to make some yarn out of this. So I'm gonna put this with my sparkly yarn because I don't have that much in the sparkly yarn, and I want to keep it safe. And then I also got this at the Fiber Forge last year. There's a little bit of sparkle in this. It's also more that I have to spin, and I haven't done it. It's very, very soft, but apparently it's like for more experienced spinners to use, and I didn't know that. I just picked it up because it was orange and sparkly. I have this one sparkle yarn, which I think my sister got somewhere. Don't know, but yeah. Okay, that sparkle yarn is taken care of. You've already heard me kind of talk about these yarns at the beginning, so I'm not gonna talk about them a second time. Oh, you know what? This cotton here, I completely forgot why I used it. This one was for my fishing fillet vest. You know how you would fillet a fish. I did a fillet crochet fishing vest with fish on it, and then I made these really cute fish little stitch markers that look like lures, and so I put them on there, but this was the yarn that I used for it. This is that wool yarn that I wanted for that project. I think I want to keep this in its own little project bag too. And we are done. Another bag. Okay, well, this is cotton. This is cotton. I think a lot of this cotton yarn that I'm pulling out of here was my cotton yarn review video that I did last summer. Why is it still in this bag and not put away? But it's not. So I'm doing that now. Now we have to go through this bin, and we're going to take out anything that is hayfield yarn. This one is, yes, this is hayfield This is what happens when I don't know where to pull from. You know when you have to pull from the center and it doesn't work out, so then you try from the other side and it still doesn't work out? This is what happens. That is not it. Okay, I think that's all my hayfield. I thought I had more. I thought I had more yarn. I was right. I still have this one, and that one. I had put all the yarn away and I was so happy with myself. I'm like, yay, I did it. I put all the yarn away. That seemed a little too easy though. It's because it was. I still have yarn. Yay. To be fair, this bag right here actually belongs in this bin, but I took this bin to wash my roomy raglan in to like wet block it. And so I used that and I put everything else in a bag. But now it's time to put everything back in there, but I also think there's other yarn in here from other things. This yarn here was a test yarn. It was the merino wool by Loops and Threads. And it was 100% merino wool and I wanted to do a project with it and I made that really cute scarf. Blossom cake. I honestly thought this was just all gonna go into that bin and I was gonna call it a day. That doesn't look like it anymore. This is the first sweater I made. It was the step-by-step sweater that I knit. That goes into the special one. Okay, this is a bunch of little yarns that maybe I'll keep out and then I can put more little yarns in there. This was also part of the video where I was trying out different yarns from Michaels. I put this on that one bag. That's a chunky yarn. That's a chunky yarn. Oh, this is also that merino wool, which should be like rolled up. Oh no, I never even used this yarn. Oh my, I thought I did. I don't like it when yarn comes in a donut because it's just a disaster. I don't want to cut anything, but also like I want to cut it all. Oh, this is the hand-dyed yarn that Stephanie made me for the one sweater that I made, and it's so cute. And I kind of want to redo the sweater now that I know kind of how to make the sweater. I also think I might not do it in the round. So I don't know. But that's her hand-dyed yarn. So this is yarn that I bought at Central Purl. So that way if I ever have to come in here and get yarn that I know that I bought from her, I know it's in here. I know it's in this. Like this would be like my Barocco Vintage, my Estelle Worsted, that type of yarn. This is from that vest that I made that I keep complaining about. Remember how I was saying that I had more of that green? Remember I had just made this flower garden sweater and I said I knew I had more green. This was the more green. Okay, so I do have more of this. I wasn't too sure if I did. Ooh, this is the yarn that I was looking for. Oh, just a gauge swatch. See, I do gauge swatches sometimes. Ooh, I have two of them. I definitely can remake it then. There's a sweater that I want to remake, but I wasn't too sure if I had enough yarn to redo the ribbing because it was just the ribbing I wanted to redo. I have two of them. Back to this. This is yarn that goes to this one shirt that I did this collar, and the collar just doesn't sit well, and I always wanted to remake it, and I wasn't too sure if I still had yarn. Back to this project here, the 24 Days of Granny Square. One number I kept getting was 19, and this is how much left I have of it. In this one here, I'm gonna put all this yarn here, the Hayfield yarn, because I do want to get a clear bin for it, but I won't have time before this video comes out because my car is in the shop right now and needs things to be done. So this one I know I didn't get at Central Purl, but I want to put it with the Central Purl stuff. Same thing for this one, even though this is a Granny Square yarn, it's a variegated yarn. I originally bought it at Central Purl. She doesn't have it anymore, but when I think of this yarn, I think of her. So I'm going to put it in that bin. See, I knew I had more. This is all from my sardine bag that I made last year. Remember when everyone was crazy about sardines last year? I still love it. I like the novelty of it. I don't know. But this was the yarn that I used to make that. And I had to buy so many colors because I didn't have any of the colors. Oh, it looked green. I'm like, why would I buy green yarn like this? It's gray yarn. Remember when season 5 Stranger Things came out and the one teacher was wearing that sweater with the sheep on it? Turns out I had that. I've had it all along. Hers was a cardigan. Mine was a sweater. I never wore it because I didn't like it as a sweater. So I actually steeked it, which people on Facebook are still debating if it's steeking or not. Someone's like, you just cut the seam. Ma'am, I made the seam in the middle. Do you think someone's gonna make a seam in the middle of a garment? No, I made that. It still gets to me. That was in January. Anyways, this was the yarn I used. In this bag, which I'm gonna actually just leave it in this bag because it turns out I no longer have room for it where it belongs. Oh, this was from my filet heart sweater that I did for Valentine's Day, around Valentine's Day. I really love the color of it. Anyways, in here is all of my granny square yarns, and I've kind of run out of room in the granny square yarn bin. I might be able to fit like 1 or 2 more, but I'm definitely not going to fit everything that is in here right now. So I think what I'm going to do is just leave them in this bag and buy a tote that is just, what is this? Oh, Velcro. I was looking everywhere for this. When I go buy a tote for my hayfield yarn, I'll buy a tote for the granny square yarn because I have so much of it. Okay, I think I'm officially on the last bag now. In here is all of my 2025 temperature scarf, which I made into a snake. And I bought all the yarn from Central Purl. So I'm going to put all the yarn in here. I think I might actually have to buy a bigger tote for my Central Purl yarn. This bucket would actually be the perfect size for the hayfield yarn, but I don't want to switch them right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a bigger bucket. Oh, I could just use one of those buckets. Yesterday I bought 2 totes, and the totes were actually meant for fabric and crafting supplies, just to get them out of my way. But I think I'd rather have those in bags and have my yarn in the totes. So close of being done, and I could go inside and play Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm obsessed with that game. I got the new DLC, the City Town, and you can go into the sewers. I love it. I think I might just take everything out of those totes and put the yarn in the totes, and then all the yarn will have totes, and then I don't have to be rushing to buy totes. I've said totes too many times. Good thing Totoro's not in here because she'd probably be thinking I'm talking to her. Let's keep organizing. This has sheets in it, which I think I might just put on here and organize this a different day. Even though, like, I just organized this, makes me a little annoyed. It's fine, makes more sense. In this basket here, I'm going to put all of my granny square yarn, which means I'm going to have to get the rest of the granny square yarn out of the bin over there, but that will create more room for other yarn. So we just got to go get more of the other stuff. In the other bucket, I decided to put all of my Central Purl yarn because I had so much of it that it just won't fit in the smaller bucket anymore. And in this one here, we're going to put all of my hayfield yarn. Perfect. Okay, that fits all of them. Yeah, look at all of this. I don't even think this is all gonna fit in here. I didn't realize how much of this I had. Yeah, this is not all gonna fit. I need a bigger tote for that. Don't actually have that much in my brown and gray bin, so I think that I'm just going to take this out and then put those in. It makes more sense. There's just a lot. This is the yarn that I'm always referring to when I say there's one red heart yarn that I despise. It's this one. I tried using it for literally a little bit. Like, look at the little knot where my crochet hook that I made for my crochet hook is still there. That's how much I used. I didn't like it. I don't know what to do with this. This might make a good rug, but I really don't want to crochet with this. Anyways, let's go put these away now. So this should be enough room for all of that to go in. If you followed me for a while, I think y'all should be like accustomed to what this type of yarn is, but it makes its own granny square. This one's not the best example, but it changes colors for you. When it's time to weave in your ends, you only have the beginning tail and the end tail. They're not always perfect, and you kind of have to like figure it out. I'm gonna leave that in there. I'll put it on top actually. It does color changing for you, and I like it because I like the novelty of it. And again, I do have a whole review video on the yarn. Now there's a few that I bought recently, like within the last year. These three, I love how like 80s they are, especially this one. So I really would like to do a project with that. I hope there's no more because that's it. They just fit. And then in this bucket, I'm gonna put all of the gray and brown yarns back in. I've officially put all my yarn away. I think I did it. I think I put all my yarn away. I can see the floor now. Yay. I just finished doing my whole organizing of yarn. It was a lot. What time is it? I'm not wearing a watch. It's almost 2:30. I think I came out here around noon. Anyways, like I can just walk in here now. It's so nice. It still needs to be organized. I understand that. I still need to organize things. Also, I don't know why that's still up. Still needs to be organized. Ooh, this. I just remembered I bought this. I got this at Value Village for $8. Look at how cute. It's a monarch butterfly latch hook kit. Comes with everything. I really want to do this. So maybe I will take a break from crocheting after my next crochet project. I have 2 crochet projects that I kind of have to get done, but then maybe I'll do this. I've had this for a while and I've always wanted to do it. I've just never had time. And I keep forgetting about it. So I'm going to keep it out so I don't forget. This is my mountain of yarn buckets. Okay. And I could even fit more. I can fit more in here, which is fantastic. Probably should have switched those 2 because this one's kind of bigger than this one at the bottom. I'm not doing it right now. Everything is now organized in the bins. I can see everything. I'm just glad that's done. I do need to put some labels. I just don't know where my marker is right now. I bought a bunch of markers and I don't know where any of my markers are. I know where the tape is, but I don't know where my markers are. So I would like to come back eventually and just put labels on everything. That's probably going to be next week. Everything is nice and organized. My yarn is officially all organized. Well, the yarn that's in here. I still have yarn in the house that I didn't bring out. It's only from like my last 2 projects, so it's not that bad. I am so glad that I could just have everything organized again, especially when I'm looking for certain yarns. I think the one thing that I really wanted to get done, and I can't stop talking about it, is the Hayfield bonus DK yarn. I wanted its own bin for so long because every time I'm like, I need to buy more yarn of this. Do I have this color? I can't find it. Okay, I'll buy more yarn, bring it home. I already have it. So I'm really glad that is done. I'm also so happy that I finally got that back room cleaned up. I did go to my storage unit today to put some stuff away. I still have to like look for more summery stuff that's in there. I didn't really have a chance to do that. I just wanted to get the stuff in here in there so I wouldn't have to deal with it. I still have to do a lot more organizing in here, so I think that might be part of next week's vlog. I only could do so much. I can only do so much before it's just frustrating and I don't want to do anything, okay? It gets to that point and then I'm done and I've lost all motivation and then nothing gets done. I have to take my time with it. But I think with what I did this week, I'm so happy because now I can just like clean up a little bit here, a little bit there. It's not like this daunting task, especially getting all my yarn organized. I'm also really glad that I did decide to switch up some bins. When I first did my yarn cleanup, I only had so much of one yarn. So I'm like, a small bin will be okay for you. And then as I make more projects and accumulate more yarn, I need to buy bigger totes. So switching up some totes was a good idea. I definitely think that switching out the brown and gray bucket into a smaller one was a good decision because I don't really have a lot of that yarn. Didn't make sense to be wasted in a bigger tote. But at the time I just had this spare tote lying around, so I decided to do that. But using that tote nowadays to put all of my granny square yarn in makes so much more sense. Also, it shows me how much of that yarn I own. I own so much of it. When it first came out, I'm like, I need to buy every single color. And then they kept coming out with it. Although I have to say I did not keep buying every single color of every single yarn. That would be way too much. I did buy a lot of that granny square yarn. There is some granny square yarn in there that I love that looks so 80s, and I just don't know what I want to make with it yet. I'd love to make another vest because I did make that one vest with the white yarn. I know I'm going into a thing about the granny square yarn, but with the granny square yarn, the last row can be, I think, 3 different colors. It can be a beige, a white, or a black. So if you buy all the yarn that have the same border, you can put them together and it will be like cohesive and it will look like it goes together. So I did like the white border version, but I'd like to do the black border version. There are some really good neon 1980s colors with the black border that I would love to use for a project. So I'm kind of thinking the vest, maybe a sweater, maybe a cardigan. I do love a good cardigan, like a long duster cardigan. I've always wanted to have a long duster crochet, like granny square crochet cardigan. I've always wanted to make it out of like a DK weight yarn, because like with like little tiny squares, or even like a worsted weight yarn, but with like little tiny squares. That might actually be a really good project for that granny square yarn, because if it doesn't work out, like as in the colors don't line up, it's such a big project that it's not going to be that noticeable. I'll just put them on the back instead of the front panels, or at the bottom, or like underneath the sleeve. I'll hide them somewhere. That's just coming into my mind now, and I kind of want to do that, but one project at a time. I am very glad that I got all my yarn organized. Hopefully I also inspired some of y'all to maybe do a little bit of spring cleaning. I always leave it to the last minute, and then it gets like super hot in here. And I know I have the air conditioning, it's just kind of loud. So I'm glad I got it done before it got too warm out. I got it done at the beginning of May. So hopefully this summer I can keep my yarn somewhat organized. And then in the fall time, we'll probably do it all over again. In the comments below, let me know how y'all organize your yarn. I'm always asking this question when I do these videos because I always love hearing what you guys do. For me personally, I think the tote system works because I can label the totes and I know what's inside the totes, but I wouldn't mind knowing some other ideas for organization, especially in small spaces. So just let me know how y'all organize your yarn. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.